Marlena Dietrich. Myself from Berlin welcome you to another episode of Coffee with Guillem. We've got a final. Come on, Spain and England. The perfect final. The final. One that hasn't happened yet in international football. But we're getting at the end the two best teams of the tournament. And I know that may sound controversial for some of you that 5 minutes ago you were saying that Gareth Southgate is not good enough. But I always knew that a side like England, with the intelligence of the players, the talent and the organisation, which became much more solid when they put three at the back, even though they moved to a formation of four during the game yesterday against Netherlands. So that flexibility, the intelligence, the quality of the players meant that they will adapt to whatever was happening, including the pressure that they felt. Quite clearly, they seemed to have relaxed. In the second half, fear kind of struck again a little bit, and it was about not losing. But the talent, the organisation meant that England got themselves to the last few minutes of the game with the possibility of actually winning it, and they did. So England in the final means busy days for me in the next few days, but I don't mind. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to tell you in a minute what's in this episode of Coffee with Guillem, but first, let me have a coffee. My coffee. Right, what I'm presenting to you is actually a great conversation I had with Carlos Corberán, the West Brom manager. It's so good, I feel, that I'm going to have it in two parts. Today is the first part. And I wanted to discover through the minds and experience of a manager, how do you build a cohesive unit, a team that plays like one, all thinking the same way, all being supportive of each other, and also being brave too. In the questions I will talk about Spain, and he's going to tell me how they managed to put it all together. So have a listen. Carlos, hello, how are you?
Very good, thank you so much.
I can tell you're working. It's the look.
We are in the pre-season, so a lot of work in front of us.
I imagine you've been following the Euros, and in particular Spain, because that is what I want to talk to you about, especially in two areas. We've spoken in the past about how to build a team. I remember you giving me a lot of detail of what happens to actually do a very good team. And we're going to touch on that, and also on the way that Spain plays. But first, I would say that Luis de la Fuente has created a group that is very cohesive. Everybody loves the idea and works for the idea. They're generous in the effort, and they all follow the leadership. That's what you see. And having spoken to players, that's what that is. But the biggest thing is, how do you build something like that, Carlos?
I think especially when you analyze a national team, so it means that probably you are not going to have a lot of time to build, to change some of many things in terms of the game or in terms of the dressing room. So for me, here is very important the selection of the player that you are going to do, because if you want that they are together, that they feel that they create a togetherness and the team is more important than any of themselves, I think it's very important that you are going to bring players that you know that their ego is not going to be the most important thing. They are not going to be thinking about me. They are going to be thinking about us. Normally, when it's a national team, when you are playing a short tournament, let's say for me, I consider that it's a little bit easier. Why? Because when you are playing 10 months competition, normally this type of problem that I am not playing what I expected always will appear. Why that one is playing and I am not playing, or because everything around football, let's say, that put the pressure on the players. I think to play with the national team of their countries is like a something extra in the careers of the players. So probably they don't feel the same responsibility or ego to try to accumulate some minutes with the national team. I think, let's say, that it's like a bonus in their career. For some players, no, because some players, they still have responsibility. Let's talk about Ronaldo, about Messi, about Mbappe. They have like big responsibilities with their country. But another type of country that don't have these big stars, they are more based in the team with good players. Probably they don't have these responsibilities, and just this affect the atmosphere that is being created in the group too. So I think the main thing in the national team, of course, is the selection, the player that you are going to pick up to go to your national team. Big egos players that are thinking more in themselves always are going to challenge more this type of situations, unless that you know that they are the most important players and they are going to play always in the first 11 of your team. If this is not the case, and you are not going to have a big stars in the team, I think in the selection you are going to find for how they play, but at the same time which type of character they can bring to your group.
You are talking about how important it is the ego of the players, their personality. We're not even talking tactics at all. We're talking about how you create that cohesion. And one thing that Luis de la Fuente is very big on is that he wants good people first who are good players. I think he feels that there are a lot of good players, but you have to be a good person to then recognize leadership, to work hard for your teammates, to accept hierarchy. Um, you big on that as well. That's an important factor.
I think it's very important, especially when you are building a squad, not just as a national team. Imagine when you are working for a club and you are going to be working with players 10 or 11 months during the year. So of course it's very important because we don't have all of us the same personality, but when you play football, you are not playing tennis. If you play tennis, you play yourself. What you achieve, you achieve. What you don't achieve, you don't achieve. When you are playing a team sport, this is a team. So, but it's a challenge because, of course, everything is very focused on each player, on each one, and we have the individual pressure of the things, what you achieve, what you don't achieve. But when you build a team, you need to create players, or you need to be involved with players that they are thinking that the important thing is the team. And to build something special with your team, you need to be able to manage some individual sacrifices. If you are not going to accept the sacrifice, your individual sacrifice for the benefit of the team is not going to work, or probably in the difficult moments, the situation is not going to work. So for me, this is one of the challenges that as a coaches we always have. Probably as a coach, this is one of the biggest one because first of all, when you build one squad, you are not going to be happy if you don't like your players. So first of all, you want to build a squad with players that you like. But you know that at the end, you are going to select 11 players. But you want to have a squad with 20 players that you love and that you like the style of football that they can do. So after, when you select 11, you need to say to the other ones that, hey, I love you, but I am not playing with you. And they need to understand this, that not some to be competitive in any type of competition, we cannot do it with 11 good players. It's impossible. You need 20 or you need 16 or 18 amazing players. So they need to understand that not always they want to receive what they want to receive. And they need to have, let's say, the resilience, or they need to accept that not always the situation are going to work how they would like. Because the important thing here is the team. And the person that always is going to be thinking in the best for the team is the coach, because what we want is our team work well and our team achieve good results.
You touched on choosing your squad and take big decisions sometimes. In the case of Luis de la Fuente, he is with players that he's had for a long while, 6, 7. Some of these players have been together for 8, 9 years in the national side. So the centre midfield of Spain and the 19 that won the European Championships with de la Fuente was Rodri and Fabian. And then he's had, for instance, in the Olympic Games in Tokyo, Cucurella and Pedri. And Dani Olmo has been part also of the national side that won the European Championships under 21. So he brings, and Mikel Merino as well, he brings all these players together. And not only that, because some of them have been internationals regularly as well, gives them responsibility. And they become a little bit, don't they, his little soldiers who tell everybody else how they have to behave, how to play, maybe even, but certainly will battle and fight for him. Is that something that that is important, to have a group of players that really just give everything for you?
100%. I think one of the first things that as a coach we always need to win is the commitment of the players. As soon as you win the commitment of them, it's easy that they can move their level to the football pitch and they fight because they commit with the situation. So for me, the commitment is the first, let's say, principle that we want from the players. Make that they give us their best. In terms of the play that you have mentioned to me, I think that Luis has, let's say, one advantage because he has been working with these players before. So it's not the same that when you are watching the player or when you have been working with the player. the fact that he has been working with these players when they were younger, give the possibility to understand very well the player in terms of character and in terms of football possibilities. Because let's say that this is one small advantage. The other coach is that if you are not working with the players, you can guess how the player is, and probably during the international breaks that you have, you are going to test their character, their personality, their connection in the game, how they work, everything, how open mind they have to the ideas that you want to introduce, every single detail. But let's say that he had the advantage to have done this before when they were younger. And these players, especially that you are mentioned, for me, they are top class players. I think in Spain we have players with a high level and young players with a massive level. So I think that we all are excited about the national team of Spain, especially for the level of the play that we have. Level in terms of what they do in the football pitch, and level in terms of the human quality that they are showing to us. Like you said before, like we were talking, the important thing they are showing that the important thing in a short tournament is being the team. And it's true that normally when the player is young, these things, let's say that they have good habits, that sometimes the habits with the pass of the time can be challenged more the players to take some habits that are not the best habits for the team. So I think that he has this advantage, and I think that right now in Spain you can be watching unbelievable players that they play very well football. And you only can play very well football when you understand football as a team, because this is football. Football is not just to play for myself with advantage situation, without advantage situation. There are many things that you do individually that are going to have impact in my teammates, because football is a team. So sometimes if I am winger and I drop more inside, I'm going to give more positives more to my fullback to attack. If I am striker and I drop, I am going to give more positives to my second striker to run in behind. So there are many behaviors that the players can do that affect the team. So normally the players who understand properly the game, they are team players, because they know that you only can achieve something important when you attack and defend collectively in the game.
You've just given us a masterclass on how to create a good football team, or a very good football team in the case of Spain. Carlos, as always, a pleasure and very enlightening. And I hope, if I don't talk to you at the beginning of the season, that your season starts well and you reach your goals.
Thank you so much, Guillem.
Very interesting, isn't it? There will be a second part at some point before the final. But now I'm got time to discover Berlin, not a lot of time, but certainly there are things that I want to do before I leave. But I'm going to meet some people that you know, some privileged minds, and I think I'll do a little bit of content with them about the Euros and about the final, and also the building next door. It's unbelievable. It's used to be a commercial center at the beginning of the 20th century, then it became an artist commune and a squad, the biggest one in Europe. It's full of murals and graffiti, so I want to know what the story is in the building. I'll do a video for you to find out as well about it. But for now, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow.